ॐ स्थापकाय च धर्मस्य सर्वधर्मस्वरूपिणे अवतारवरिष्ठाय रामकृष्णाय ते नमः।
Dear friends, welcome back to the study of Bhagavad Gita, chapter 5th. And we have introduced ourselves during the last several discourses. Today, we are going to start from the third shloka and end up to the fifth. Third, fourth, and fifth shloka, Sri Krishna highlights and emphasizes the importance of karma yoga correctly performed in our day-to-day life, the importance of it to reach the supreme goal. Each and every religion has defined the supreme goal according to their own understanding and teaching. To be gathered to our Father in heaven, to enjoy eternal life in paradise. That is the supreme goal as decided by the Christians. The concept of nirvana mukti, absolutely, you are extinguished from the world, but you don't evaporate. You are, but you do not belong to the world. It's the concept of nirvana mukti according to Buddhists. Similarly, various isms, various philosophies have described it. Vedanta gives a universal definition, which applies to all, but it is non-denominational. How come? It relates to your state of mind and your achievement, which is known as liberation, realization, salvation, emancipation, moksha, mukti. All these words, they are used in various religions. Now, let us try to understand a universal definition of that state. The Vedanta says moksha and mukti, liberation, realization, freedom, emancipation, call it by name. It is atyanti dukkha nivritti parama sukha prapti. In translating it, it means dukkhasya atyantik nivritti, total cessation of, total removal, total abnegation of the concept of dukkha, concept of unhappiness, sadness, misery, agony, call it by any name. That very concept has totally disappeared. To what extent? You come and tell me, I am sad. And I'll cup my ears and say, what language are you speaking? This very I, at one point of time, was a victim of sadness. But through devoted, dedicated, determined discipline, going through the process of sadhana, exercise, disciplined exercise, I have raised my limit of awareness to such an extent where dukkhasya atyantik nivritti, total abnegation, total removal of the very concept of sadness has disappeared, and I am not hollow. I don't live in vacuum. The space left by that removal of sadness is filled up with divine ecstatic joy, parama sukha prapti. That is the goal of human life. All the scriptures of all religions tries to help all of us, notwithstanding what is my faith, what is my belief, notwithstanding that, they try to help you to reach that goal. Gita is one of the pillars of that study. In 18 different chapters, starting with a situation which one of the most evolved, efficient, successful human being, Prince Arjuna, the future emperor of Bharatvarsha, India, finds himself in a jam. He doesn't know what to do, what not to do, if to do, how to do. He's totally confused. It is a symbolic statement where we humans, at a point of life, we find ourselves in such a situation. How to solve that problem and what is the positive determined goal is the subject matter of the Bhagavad Gita, and we are dedicated students of that. Let us not treat it academically. Let us take it as a book or a source of instruction, or let me put it serially, sequentially. It's a book of information, education, instruction, achievement, and the description of what happens to you after achieving. The whole gamut of spiritual life from A to Z. Karma Yoga is one of those processes, one of those paths. And what is Karma Yoga? I've explained it to you many a times. In short, let me tell you, when we perform some activity, as of today, we perform it with a desire to achieve a goal. Desire is the motivation, is the initiative to reach a particular goal. We use our brains and all our wisdom to achieve that. But you are not sure whether you achieve it or not. If you achieve, you are in cloud nine, full of joy, joy of success. And if you do not achieve, you are in a miserable state of failure. And you are totally miserable, despondent, in despair. That is our life, swinging like a pendulum between pleasure and pain, happiness and sadness, ecstasy and agony. We keep on swinging, and we say we enjoy our life. What type of a joy it is? When your joy is not permanent, when your sadness is not permanent, they are transitory. Again, in one experimentation, you succeed and you are happy. Again, you fail, you are unhappy. And you say, this is life. That is not what life should be. It should be Parama Sukha Prapti. You should be always in an ecstatic, divine joy. How to achieve it? We are in that stage of the study where the word karma sannyasa and the word karma yoga is being explained in detail by Sri Krishna. Why? Traditionally, we are used to the word sannyasa, we are used to the word yoga. Karma sannyasa and karma yoga. And our woolly-headed idea, our stupid ideas say karma sannyasa means you reject doing your duties of life. You go away from life. Live in the forest and the dales and the hills. And continue to meditate, I am Atman, I am the soul. I have nothing to do with this world. You say you are practicing karma sannyasa. But you do not know how very subtly, how very finely you are deceiving yourself. And let me try to explain that. I say, as a so-called karma sannyasi, I am doing nothing. This is my statement. I am not performing the duties of my life. I am a sannyasi. Rejection of performance of duties of life. I am doing nothing. This is what you say. Analyze what you are saying. You are doing something which you call as nothing. Because your identity with your body-mind complex is very much there. That is why you say, I am doing nothing. That is, I am doing something which is known as nothing. A stupid idea and mistaken idea, an erroneous idea of karma sannyasa. And what is karma yoga? prior to that, to be motivated by my desires and to work with a result-oriented idea. When the result is not what I want, I am distressed, disgusted, despondent. I am unhappy. And when the result is to my expectation and liking, I am in cloud nine. That is karma bhoga. I am suffering, swinging like a pendulum between pleasure and pain, between raga and dvesha. Let us now understand the words used by the Gita. Raga is attachment with expectation, and dvesha is aversion. I don't want that. It is as harmful as I want this. Likes and dislikes, both of them bind you down and make you a karma bhogi. Now, what is a karma yogi? A karma yogi performs his duties of life. Whatever the duty may be, socially speaking, the worst duty, a janitor's job, cleaning human dirt, or an abbot or a priest in a shrine, supposed to be very high order. All that activity has to be done thoroughly, correctly, perfectly, excellently, giving your heart and soul into it, so that nothing of yours is withheld. You give yourself to do it correctly, thoroughly, perfectly, excellently. And you offer it to God. Sir, I need nothing of this world. I am happy by offering my whole life. The flow of life is the flow of various activities. I offer my life to you. I want nothing from this world. To the extent, sir, I don't want your extra blessings. That I expect you be pleased with me, I don't have that expectation also. I am happy by myself because I have given my very best to my God. This is karma yoga. Whatever the type of karma may be, cleaning a toilet or worshipping in the shrine, do it thoroughly, correctly, perfectly, excellently, with your heart and soul. Why? This activity of yours, you're offering it to God. Not the type of work, but the work itself. Bring in the fifth dimension of awareness of presence of God in every moment of your life. You expect nothing from this world positively. You are not averse to the world negatively. Let the world flow. I am not bothered. I am bothered being a perfect karma yogi. In these three shlokas that Sri Krishna is defining now, which is the subject matter of today's study, let us read the third. It will be probably the third time I am concentrating on this very shloka. But this has to be For a sadhaka, a person who really builds up his life in God, with God, for the sake of serving God, for such a person, this is extremely important and practically instructive. Jana dveshti na kankshati, the second quarter of the third shloka. He who is above attraction and aversion. Raga is positive, wishful attraction, because I feel it is enjoyable, it is good. And aversion is, I don't want that, it is hurtful. Both of them gets you involved with your worldly expectation. Both of them. So what you should practice, Sa Nitya Sannyasi Geya, know him to be absolutely poised in the concept of sannyasa. What is sannyasa? Literally meaning, etymologically, grammatically, sannyasa is samyak nyasa. Nyasa is rejection. Samyak means in totality. Not a trace remains. Of what? Of attachment to the results of your activity from the world. Or even from God. Acharya Shankara says, Tatra Ishvara api me tushatu iti sangam tvakta. Get rid of that expectation also. What is that? I am a karma yogi, have dedicated my life to God and nothing else. May God be pleased with me. Don't expect that from God. Let him do his business, let me do mine. He who does not expect anything from the world, and because of that, he is not attached to, not averse to this world, or all its vain promises. Know him to be a real sannyasi, because he has totally broken himself away from the expectation of this world, from this world. Jo na dveshti na kankshati. That is, a karma yogi is a pursuer of perfection, excellence, thoroughness, correctness, and more he does excellently, thoroughly and correctly, more he is happy with himself. He expects nothing from anybody and he offers to his God. This is the situation that I am in. I am a brahmachari. I am a young novice Swami. This is what I have been asked to do. I do with my heart and soul, and I offer it. If you can achieve that equanimity, poise, serenity, stability, unmoved by likes and dislikes, attachment and aversion, you are at the top of the world. Sukham bandhat pramuchyate. You will very easily be one with God. Why? Your whole personality has been totally cleaned. And because it is empty and clean, God's presence will fill you up very easily without much of an effort. The effort is Nitta Sannyasi, Yoda Dveshti, Nakansh. Now you see how practical, how informative, how educative, how instructive it is. Let us then move on to the fourth shloka. What does Sri Krishna say? Sankha yoga prithag bala na pravadanti panditaha. Pravadanti na panditaha. Ekam api astita samyak ubhayor bindate phalam. Let us have a paraphrase, word-to-word meaning from Sanskrit to English. Bala means immature, ignorant, not learned in this matter. People, like children, they use words, hearing from people, they don't know the meaning of it. The children. So there are children in spiritual life who talk tall, but they don't understand what they are talking. Those people say Sankhya Yoga and Karma Yoga are different. Why? Performance-wise, they are different. Let us understand what is Sankhya. Sankhiyate anena iti Sankhya. You are a rational being. You ask yourself, who am I? Am I this body? If I am this body, I would have said, I body. But I say my body. That is, the body belongs to me as my glasses, my book, my pen, my watch. They are mine. My body. So, I don't say I body. So my experience tells me, by my statement, natural statement tells me, this is my body. I never say I body. Therefore, I am not the body. The same argument, my mind, my wisdom, my life, my activity, all of them are mine. I am separate. Then who am I? Go forward with this argument and ultimately will come to the conclusion, I am that eternal spirit, the soul. I am Atma Brahma. Whom I know as I am is nothing else but the absolute Nirvikalpa, Nirguna, Nirakara Brahma. That is what I am. This philosophical pursuit, known as Sankhya Yoga, based on hair-splitting, argumentation. That is a method to find out your real identity. Jnana Yoga, Sankhya Yoga. They are the same, two different names. Good enough? And what is Karma Yoga? Yes. Sankhya Yoga says the spirit is everywhere. The divine is everywhere. So I will bring it down from the level of my ideas to my day-to-day behavioral life. If God is everywhere, He is in me, He is in you, in you, in you. My behavior with you all should be now not with vain and pride and ego, but respectful to each other, because that God who is in me is in you. The idea of Sankhya, God is everywhere, I am now bringing it down to my level of awareness, and I am translating it into my day-to-day behavior pattern. This is the difference between the two. But what is the highest common factor between the two? Both of them believe God is one and He is everywhere. The paths are different, but the goal is the same, to realize God is in me and He is everywhere, and I live in God, I live with God, I live for the sake of serving God. Nothing but God in my life. Sri Krishna says here, Pandita na pravadanti. The knowers of the self, they do not say Sankhya and Yoga are different. Why? They have seen the end result. They have seen the goal. Goal is one. Atyantik dukkha nivritti paramasika prapti. Or Ishvara anubhuti. That I realize the presence of God in me. I realize that. From the point of view of realization, whichever way you go, you reach that same goal. But the paths are different, but the goal, destination is the same. Say, for instance, from the Eastwood railway station, you want to come here. You have several choices. Each path that you choose is different from the others, but you reach the ashram nonetheless through all these different paths. People of less maturity, people of less understanding, they say karma sannyasi and karma yogi are two different. And those who have reached the goal, they say, my dear friend, they reach the same goal. As because the goal is the same, so their objective is the same. Therefore, they are the same. I can tell you from my experience, The teachers say that I have tried the various ways and I have seen that they reach the same goal. Sankhya Yoga Pritham. Sankhya and Yoga are different. The immature people who have not realized the goal, they say it is different. Pandita na pravadanti. But the knowers of the self, they make no difference. Why? Ekam api asthita samyak. If you have practiced one methodology correctly, thoroughly, perfectly, excellently, in totality, ubhayor vidyate phalam. If he comes by that route, if you go by this route, you will come to the same goal. Goal-oriented, they are the same. Path-oriented, they are different. Swami Vivekananda ji explained it in a very, very easy geometrical method. He says, conceive of a circle. A circle has a circumference, circle has radii, and a circle has a center. And I have calculated it to make it more realistic and practical. 360 degrees of a circle, and those each degree can be divided to 60 as a minute, and a minute can be divided by 60 into a second. In a circumference, there are 1,926 points known as seconds, from where, if you draw a perpendicular, you will come to the center. 1,296 points. 1,296 points. They are different on the circumference. But when you draw a perpendicular, it will reach the center. Ekam api asthita sabhyak. Any of the methodologies of the world, if you hold on to any one of them and do it thoroughly, correctly, perfectly, excellently, you will reach the goal. Ekam api asthita sabhyak. Ubhairapi vidyate phalam. You will reach the same goal by the same different methods. These are the words of extreme eternal wisdom, harmonizing the diversities of the whole cosmos, that nothing is but the divine. And this diversity adds a special flavor, is a salt for our life. We enjoy the diversity, keeping the unity behind the diversity uppermost in our mind. So we have covered the fourth shloka. I promised you to complete the fifth today. From another point of view, Sri Krishna is conveying the same idea. Jat sankhai prapyate sthanam tat yogairapi gavyate ekam shankham cha yogam cha japashati sapashati. Let me paraphrase for you first. Jat sankhai prapyate sthanam. Sthanam is the goal where you want to reach. And once you reach there, nobody or nothing can dislodge you from that. That is the sadhana. He says, Jat sankhai prapyate sthanam. Through the procedure of dhyana yoga, sankhya yoga, karma yoga, all of them are sankhya yogas of different names. Prapyate sthanam reaches you to a particular goal. Tat sthanam, that very place, yogairapi gabyate. Yoga also, if performed perfectly, correctly, excellently, you will reach the same goal. Jat sankhai prapyate sthanam tad yogairapi gabyate. Ekam cha sankham cha japashyati sapashyati. Don't have any conflict, any contradiction, any reservation in your mind. What? They are different. The paths are different. They lead to the same goal. And the Upanishads and the Vedas have beautiful examples. What does it say? There are thousands and thousands of rivers in the whole world. They have their different source of origin in different places, either glacial or perennial spring, all over the world. But ultimately, meandering through the land masses, they end up into the ocean. Ocean is their goal, and once they reach there, the water of the river is irreversibly mixed up with the water of the ocean. You can't separate it anymore. You have become the ocean yourself. This is a description from the Upanishads. It's absolutely the same. Rains fall from the skies. They fall everywhere. The end result is they enrich Mother Earth. After enriching, whatever is surplus goes to the ocean. Ocean is the goal. Our goal is Atyantik Dukkha Nivritti Parama Sukha Prapti. Thank you, dear friends. Thank you enough for us. Today, we have completed the fifth chapter, a fifth shloka of the fifth chapter. Mind you, up to this fifth shloka, from the first to the fifth, you must understand these 5 shlokas very, very, very correctly. All the other shlokas are developing the principal basic ideas in these 5 shlokas. Thank you, my dear friends. Thank you ever so much.
Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.